Hi friends, let's go ahead and get started on our story for today. Remember, we're talking about Goldilocks and the Three Bears this week. Yesterday I read you this one right here. Today I'm going to read you this version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Let's listen and see what's the same and what's different, okay? This one is retold and illustrated by Jan Brett. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Here's our title page. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived together in a house of their own in a wood. One of them was a little small wee bear, and one was a middle-sized bear, and the other was a great, huge bear. They each had a bowl for their porridge. The little bowl, the little small wee bear, a little bowl for the little small wee bear, a middle-sized bowl for the middle-sized bear, and a great huge bowl for the great huge bear. And they each had a chair to sit in, a little chair for the little small wee bear, a middle-sized chair for the middle-sized bear, and a great huge chair for the great huge bear. And they each had a bed to sleep in. A little bed for the little small wee bear, a middle-sized bed for the middle-sized bear, and a great huge bed for the great huge bear. One day, after they had made porridge for breakfast and poured their porridge into the bowls, they walked out to the wood while their porridge was cooling. And while they were walking, a little girl named Goldilocks came to their house. First, she looked in the window, and then she peeped at the keyhole, and seeing no one was home, she lifted the latch. How pleased Goldilocks was when she saw the steaming porridge on the table. The sweet smell of the porridge with roasted nuts, honey, and berries filled the room. It was so tempting that Goldilocks set about helping herself. First, she tasted the porridge of the great, huge bear, but it was too hot. Then she tasted the porridge of the middle-sized bear, but it was too cold. And then she tried the porridge of the little small wee bear, and it was neither too hot nor too cold. It was just right. She liked it so much, she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks sat down in the chair of the great huge bear, but it was too hard for her. So then she sat down in the chair of the middle-sized bear, but it was too soft for her. And then she sat down in the chair of the little small wee bear, and the chair was neither too hard nor too soft, but just right. So Goldilocks seated herself in it, and there she sat until the bottom of the chair gave way, and down she came, plump, on the floor. Then Goldilocks went upstairs to the bedroom in which the three bears slept. First she lay down upon the bed of the great huge bear, but the bed was too high at the head for her. Then she lay down at the bed of the middle-sized bear, but the bed was too high at the foot for her. And then she lay down upon the bed of the little small wee bear, and that was neither too high at the head or too high at the foot, but just right. So she covered herself up comfortably and fell fast asleep. By this time, the three bears thought their porridge would be cool enough to eat, so they returned home for breakfast. Now Goldilocks had left the spoon of the great huge bear standing in his porridge. "Somebody has been in my porridge," said the great huge bear in his great rough, gruff voice. And when the middle-sized bear looked at hers, she saw the spoon was standing in it too. "Somebody has been at my porridge," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the small little wee bear looked at his bowl, and the spoon was in the porridge, but the porridge was all gone. Somebody's been at my porridge and has eaten it all up, said the little small wee bear in his little small wee voice. Upon this, the three bears, seeing that someone had entered their house and eaten the little small wee bear's breakfast, began to look around them. Now Goldilocks had not put the cushion straight when she rose from the chair of the great huge bear. Somebody's been sitting in my chair, said the great huge bear in his great huge rough gruff voice. And Goldilocks had crumpled the soft cushion of the middle-sized bear. Somebody has been sitting in my chair, said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. And you know what Goldilocks had done to the third chair. Somebody's been sitting in my chair and has sat the bottom right out of it, said the little small wee bear in his little small wee voice. Then the bears thought it necessary that they should make a further search. So they went upstairs to the bedroom. Now Goldilocks had pulled the pillow of the great huge bear out of its place. Somebody's been lying in my bed, said the great huge bear in his great rough gruff voice. And Goldilocks had pulled the cover of the middle-sized bear out of its place. Somebody's been lying in my bed, said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. And then the little small wee bear came to look at his bed. There was Goldilocks, sleeping peacefully, her long shiny braids spread across his pillow. Little small wee bear just stared at her for a moment and didn't say anything. But then he cried, somebody's been lying in my bed, and here she is. Goldilocks had heard in her sleep the great rough gruff voice of the great huge bear and the middle-sized voice of the middle-sized bear. But it was only as if she had heard someone speaking in a dream. But when she heard that little small wee voice of the little small wee bear, it was so sharp and so shrill and so like her own that it awakened her at once. Up she startled, and when she saw the three bears on one side of the bed, she tumbled herself off the other and ran to the window. Out Goldilocks jumped and ran away as fast as she could, not looking behind her until she was very far away. And what happened to Goldilocks afterwards, no one can tell. But the three bears never saw anything more of her. All right, I'll come back tomorrow to read you guys another version of our story. Bye.